Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Today we are going to continue with exercise 2.4. We have already solved exercise 2.4. Yes children, we have completed sum number 1 and also we have completed sum number 2 and 3. And sum number 4 was given as a homework. Today we are going to continue with the next question, that is question number 5. So let's start our class children. Take down your classwork. Write down today's date. Write down question number 5. Prove the following properties. Here on the first subpart, Z is real if and only if Z is equal to Z bar. I hope you are taking down your questions. Write down your questions neatly children. Presentation is very, very important. Okay, I hope you have taken down your question. Let's start with the proof part. What is the question children? Z is real if and only if Z is equal to Z bar. So they have given you a condition. It is you have to prove Z is real if and only if Z is equal to Z bar. Okay. Now, what do you mean by real children? I'll just explain you what is the meaning of real before we go for the proof part. Now, we know that the complex number is x plus iy. This is the form of a complex number. Okay, what is this x? The x is the real part and the y is the imaginary part. Clear children? I hope you know this definition. Yes, good. Now here the question is to prove that z is real. That means you have to get the value for z as x. If you get the value for z as x, you can say that the number is real. Are you getting my point children? When you call z as real, you call z as real when the value for z is x. That is, it contains only the real part. Similarly, according to the imaginary, suppose the question is to prove if it is imaginary, that means it should contain the imaginary part. For real means it should contain the real part. So just think or just read the question, understand the question, and you have to apply and you have to go for the proof part. Let's begin our proof part children. Okay, so now let's go for the proof part. Here we are going to take two cases. Case 1. See the question children, Z is real if and only if. You have a two-way condition. If, this means if and only if. So we are going to take two cases over here. Let's see the first case over here. The first case is, what is given to you? Z is real. What I'm going to take for the first case, I'm going to take Z is real for the given part. And for to prove, I am going to prove the second part. What is the second part given over here? Yes, Z is equal to Z bar or conjugate of Z. Now when, that is how are you going to take for case 2? Case 2 will be given. You have to just take the vice versa. What do you mean by vice versa? In the given part we have taken Z is real. Yes children, for case 2 the given part will be Z is equal to Z bar. I hope you are getting the point. Yes children. So this is a proof where you are dealing with if and only if. If and only if means you have to consider two cases. So what are the first case we are going to consider? Given. So what is the given part I have taken here? Z is real. So what will be for case 2? Z is equal to Z bar. Okay. Now let's come to prove part. What is to prove? Z is equal to Z bar. Now tell me the to prove part for case 2. Very good. Yes. What is to prove part children? Yes. Z is real. So this is how we are going to consider the cases and we are going to proceed with our proof part. Let us come to case 1. You can write down case 2 later on children. Do not take case 2 now. Just write down the case 1. I'll tell you when to write case 2. Have you taken down the given part? Write down neatly, children. Take down the two proof part. Okay, so now we are going to start the proof part. So how are we going to start? What is given to you? Z is real. Yes. I'll start here. Z is real. Already I have explained to you, when Z is real, that means Z value is equal to X. What is the value for Z, children? The value for Z is X. So now what are we going to do here? If Z is X, the value for Y will be 0. That is, if the complex number is real, the imaginary part will be 0. That means the Y part will be 0. This is what you are going to keep in your mind when you are going to write your proof part. Let's begin the answer, children. Okay. So Z is real. This implies Y is equal to 0. Take down the point, children. Have you taken the value? So what is the value for Y we got, children? The value for Y is 0. Why we have taken Y as 0, children? Because the Z value is real. That means Z is real means what? Z is real means it has no imaginary part. Be clear, we have already seen in the definition, a complex number combines a real number and a imaginary part. So real means this part is missing. Which part is missing? The imaginary part is missing. That means the value for Y is taken as 0. That is what I have written over here. Okay, children. Now what are we going to do? See here, children. I know the value for Z. What is the value for Z? X plus IY. Okay. Now we know the value for Y. What is the value for Y? It's 0. So let's substitute X plus I into 0. So what is the answer? X plus I into 0, 0. Anything multiplied by 0 gives you 0. So what is the answer you get here? X, yes. Take this as number 1. Take down the first part as 1. I hope you have taken down the first part, children. Okay, now what are we going to do here, children? We have to prove Z is equal to Z bar. So I have taken Z and I have got the value as X. Now you are going to consider Z bar. What is Z bar? Yes, it is the conjugate. What is the meaning of conjugate, children? Yes, you have to change the sign of what? You have to change the sign of the imaginary part. That means if Z is equal to X plus IY, the conjugate is equal to X minus IY. How you get the conjugate? You have to change the sign of the imaginary part. I hope you are clear, children. Okay, let's write the value. So Z bar is equal to X minus IY. Now what are you going to do? We know the value for Y. So substitute the value for Y, children. So this is equal to X minus I into 0. Complete the step, children. I hope you are doing the steps. Do it properly. I hope you have completed both the steps. Yes, children? So what do you get when you are multiplying I and 0? Yes, when you multiply I and 0, you get 0. Good, yes. So this is X minus 0. What is the answer for X minus 0, children? Yes, it is X. See? So just put this as number 2. So now just check your first subpart and your second subpart. What we have got? We have got the same answer. What is the answer? X, yes. What is the answer here? X. Good. So now what are you going to do? You're going to write from 1 and 2. Yes, from 1 and 2, Z is equal to Z bar. That is what we have to prove, eh, children? Yes, we started with Z is real and we have proved Z is equal to Z bar. Hence proved. So we have completed the first case. How we started the first case? We took the given as Z is real and we proved Z is equal to Z bar. I hope you are cleared with the first case. Yes, children? Okay, good. Let us continue with case 2. Already I have explained how you are going to consider case 2. Now for case 2, you have to just interchange this 2. For given, you have taken Z is real. Now for case 2, you have to take the given as, what will you take? Yes, Z is equal to Z bar. Are you clear, children? Yes. So what are you going to take for to prove? You are going to take, what was taken here? To prove we took Z is equal to Z bar. Yes, children? So for case 2, you have to take Z is real. So this is what we are going to consider case 2. Okay, now when are we going to choose these cases? If we have a condition, if and only if. IFF. What is the full form of IFF? If and only if. I hope you have taken down your given part and to prove part. Let's go for the proof part. Give the heading, proof. Okay. So what is given to us, children? Z is equal to Z bar. So write down here, Z is equal to Z bar. What is the value for Z? Yes, good. X plus IY. This is equal to, what is the value for Z bar? I have told you if Z is equal to X plus IY, the conjugate of it is X minus IY. You have to change the sign of the imaginary part. Yes, we have to change the sign. Here it was plus. Now you are going to write it as minus. That's all. So this is equal to X minus IY. I hope you are clear, children. I have started with the given part. What was given? Z is equal to Z bar. So X plus IY is equal to X minus IY. Now what are you going to do here? You are going to cancel the same term. Do not cancel IY because this is with the positive sign and this is with the negative sign. So we cannot cancel that term. We can cancel X and X because here it's a plus X, here it is a plus X. So now I'm going to bring everything on one side. So IY, this is minus IY. When minus IY comes from RHS to LHS, it becomes plus IY. Yes. And this is equal to 0. Here nothing is left out, yes, children? So you have to put here 0. IY plus IY, 2IY is equal to 0. So you say Y is equal to 0. So what you get from the given part, we get that Y is equal to 0. Now what are we going to do here is, I am going to put Y is equal to 0 in Z. Is equal to X plus IY. I hope you are doing the sums along with me, children. Do not waste your time. You have to complete the sums along with me. Take down the sums. This is a very easy proof and this is an important proof also because this is based on the property. So you should know how to prove the statements. Put Y is equal to 0 in Z is equal to X plus IY. Okay. So this is equal to Z is equal to X plus IY. I got the value for Y as 0. So Z is equal to X plus I into 0. So Z is equal to X. We have already seen that if you get z is equal to x, it means it is a real number. Therefore, z is real. Hence proved. So we have seen both the cases. We have proved the first case, yes, and also we have proved the second case. So when you say that z is real, we say z is real if z is equal to x. This is what you have to remember, children. So I hope you are clear with the proof part. Yes, children? So we have completed the first subpart. Take down the answers. Okay. Now let's go for the second subpart. I'll rub this part. Write down subpart 2. REZ. What is the meaning of REZ? Real Z. How to read this, children? Real Z. Yes. Real Z is equal to Z plus Z bar upon 2. This is what we have to prove. We have to prove the real part of Z is equal to Z plus Z bar upon 2. Clear, children? Have you taken on the question? Let's start with the work. Now here, what we are going to do is, we have a LHS part and we have a RHS part. Yes, children? So we are going to start from the RHS. We are not going to start from LHS. We are going to start from the RHS. So write down here, RHS is equal to Z plus Z bar upon 2. So this is what is RHS. What is the RHS given? Z plus Z bar upon 2. Okay. Now we know the value for Z. Yes. What is the value for Z, children? X plus IY. Good. What is the value for Z bar? X minus IY. Good. So we are going to substitute the value. Let's substitute the value. This is equal to, what is Z? X plus IY. Okay. Sin plus Z bar X minus IY upon 2. Yes, children? See, I have just substituted the value for Z and also Z bar. Now let's try to simplify it. What do we get when we simplify? Here, plus IY minus IY gets cancelled. Yes. What is left here? X plus X. What is the answer for X plus X, children? Yes, it's 2X. 1X plus 1X. That means 2X. Okay. So you are going to write down here 2X upon 2. So what gets cancelled? 2 gets cancelled. And what is the RHS you get here? It's X. Put this as number 1. We have solved the RHS part and we have got the answer as X. Done. Now, we are going to move to the LHS part. I have told that we are going to start from the RHS. Yes, children? I took the RHS part first. I just substituted the value. For Z, it was X plus IY. Z bar, the value was X minus IY. Yes. And when we simplify, we get the answer as X. Now, what are we going to do? Write down LHS. What is the LHS part? Real Z. What is the real part of Z? The real part of Z is X. Yes, that's all. A single line. So just put this as number 2. What is the real part of Z? It's X. Do not get confused, children. Again and again, I just repeat that you have to be thorough with the definition. A complex number. Suppose a complex number you have Z. The value for Z is X plus IY. So the X is called the real part. So what is the real part of Z? It is X. Real part of Z is X. You say, therefore, from 1 and 2, RHS is equal to LHS. Hence, proof. I hope you are clear with the proof part, children. So we have completed the second subpart. So we started with the RHS. I got the answer as X. Then I took the LHS. Again I got the answer as X. So from 1 and 2 you can say that RHS is equal to LHS. Hence proved. Now take down your homework, children. The homework will be exercise 2.4, question number 5, the third subpart. The third subpart means it comes along with the second question. Yes, children? Yes, the imaginary part. From 5th, you have to do the second half. I have completed the first half from question number 2. You are going to complete the second half. Are you clear, children? I hope you can try out the sum. Can you try out, children? Yes, very good. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Take down the 6th question. Write down the question. Find the least value of the positive integer n for which root 3 plus I the whole raised to n is real and purely imaginary. So we have to find out the value for n, that is n value for a particular value. They have given you a complex number root 3 plus I the whole raised to n, and you have to find the value for n in such a way that it should be a real number and also it should be a purely imaginary part. Let's proceed with our answer, children. I hope you have taken all these parts. Let's start sum number 6. Write down here. Let z is equal to, what is the complex number given to you? Root 3 plus I the whole raised to n. This is what is given to you in the question. What is the complex number given to you? Root 3 plus I the whole raised to n. Okay. Now the question is, we have to find out the positive value, or you have to find out the value for a positive integer n. Positive integer n means what? That means you will get the value for n in terms of positive. The answer for n will be positive. Are you clear with the question, children? Okay. So now what are we going to do? See here, children. I am going to choose the values for n. Let us go for the first statement. Consider n is equal to 1, because the thing is we have to find out the value for n. Yes, children? So here what I am going to do, I am going to start the value for n as 1. Let's start with the value. Therefore, z is equal to, wherever you have n, you have to replace it as 1. Yes. So root 3 plus I whole raised to n. So in place of n, what you will get? 1. Yes. Anything raised to 1 is the same answer. That's root 3 plus I. Yes. So we have found the value for z when n is equal to 1. Okay, children. Now here, just listen to the question carefully. You have to find out the value for n for which it is real and imaginary. That means you have to get only a real part and also you have to get only the imaginary part. But just see the sum over here. You have a real part and you have a imaginary part. So we have to move further. This is not the required answer. We have to go for one more step. Let's go for the next step. So we have taken n as 1. Now consider n as 2. Are you clear, children? Why are we continuing the sum? We are continuing the sum because we did not arrive at the real part alone, or we did not arrive at the imaginary part alone. We have arrived at a complex number. So we are considering n as 2. So let's solve it. So z is equal to root 3 plus I the whole raised to 2. You're going to use the expansion a plus b the whole square, children. What is the expansion of a plus b the whole square? Yes, a square plus 2ab plus b square. What is the expansion of a plus b the whole square? A square plus 2ab plus b square. Now, I just give you some time. Complete the steps, children. Expand the bracket and get the answer. Try out the calculations properly, children. Apply the formula. I hope you are trying out the sum, children. Do it. Okay, can we check the answers? Okay, now check whether your answer and my answer is correct. Let us have a check, children. So what is the expansion? A square plus 2ab plus b square. What is a here? A is root 3. What is b? It's I, yes. Let's substitute. So this is equal to root 3 square, a square, 2ab, 2 into root 3 into I, plus b square. What is b square? I square. That's all. Yes, good. So we have substituted the value for a and b. Now let's simplify it. What is the value for root 3 square, children? Root 3 into root 3 is 3. Remember, do not write root 3 into root 3 as 9. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. What is the value for root 3 into root 3? It's 3. Be careful. So this is 3 plus. The second term remains the same. No need to do any changes over there. Okay. I know the value for I square. Yes, children? We have already taken under points to remember. I have given you the powers of imaginary unit. What is the value for I square? It's minus 1. Yes. The value for I square is equal to minus 1. So put here minus 1. So this is equal to 2 plus 2 root 3i. What is the answer? The answer is 2 plus 2 root 3i. Clear? Okay. Let us check whether we have arrived at the solution. I have told you that we want only the real part or only the imaginary part. But this answer contains the real part and the imaginary part. I hope you are clear with the question, children. See, here we have a real part and the imaginary part. Here we have a real part and the imaginary part. So we have not arrived at the solution. We have to move ahead. Yes. We have to take one more value. Let us check for n is equal to 3. Consider n is equal to 3. So what are we going to do now? We are going to consider the next number because we have not arrived at the solution. So consider n is equal to 3. So what do you get here? Z is equal to root 3 plus I whole cube. That's all. Now what you do here, children? Do not go on. We are not going to apply a plus b the whole cube. Here we are going to use a direct method. See, children, this will be written as root 3 plus I the whole square root 3 plus I. I hope you are clear with the distribution. Yes, how have we distributed, children? Here it was 3, yes. So how are we breaking them? We are breaking as 2 plus 1. So you are going to write down root 3 plus I the whole cube as root 3 plus I the whole square into root 3 plus I. I hope you are clear with the breaking of the number. Clear, children? Okay, so now what are we going to do? We are going to substitute the value. We already know the value for root 3 plus I whole square. Yes, we have found. So put the value over here. 2 plus 2 root 3I. Put everything under bracket. Okay, children? Yes, so the value for root 3 plus I the whole square is 2 plus 2 root 3I. This is root 3 plus I. Okay, come on, try out the sum, children. Multiply and give me the answer. I hope you are doing the multiplication properly. Do the multiplication properly. Do not miss out any terms, children. Okay. I hope you would have done the sum, yes, children. Shall we check the answer? Yes, let us have a check. So first of all, I am going to multiply 2 to the next bracket. So 2 into root 3. 2 root 3. Okay, done. 2 into I. 2I. Okay, so we have multiplied with 2. So what is the answer for 2 into root 3? 2 root 3. What is the answer for 2 into I? 2I. Okay. Now we are going to multiply by 2 root 3I. Be careful, children. Here is the place where you can make mistake. So let us go slowly. I will explain to you how to multiply this term. 2 root 3I into root 3. Yes, children? So what are you going to multiply? 2 root 3I into root 3. Okay. So 2. I know the value for root 3, root 3. What is the answer for root 3 into root 3? It's 3. Yeah. 2 into 3 into I. So what is the answer? 6I. So put here plus 6I. I hope you are clear with the multiplication, children. See here. So 2 root 3 gives you 3. So 2 into 3, 6. And we have only one I. So it will be taken as I. Let us go for the next part. 2 root 3I into I. What is the multiplication? 2 root 3I into I. So 2 root 3. What is the value for I into I? It is I square. What is the value for I square, children? Yes, minus 1. Good. 2 root 3 minus 1. So what is that? Minus 2 root 3. Okay, children, I want you to take down those points in the rough part. You would have been drawing the rough column, yes, children? So you just have a rough column over here, and we are going to show this explanation over here, so that when you prepare for your exam, it will be easy for you to understand the concept. So just use your rough work. 2 root 3I root 3. So this is 2 into 3 into I. So 6I. Everyone has to show the working part in your rough column, children. It is very, very important. You have to show the working part. No one is going to do the answers directly. Okay. Now, let's go for the next explanation. 2 root 3I. So 2 root 3 I square. I into I square. So 2 root 3 minus 1. We know the value for I square, that is minus 1. This is equal to minus 2 root 3. Just put here. You have to show both the working part, children. You have to draw a rough column and you have to show the working part. I hope you are doing all the works. Okay. Now let's come back here, children. See here, 2 root 3 plus 2I plus 6I minus 2 root 3. See, we have a same term, yes children, and with a different sign. So we can cancel these two terms. So what is left now? 2i plus 6i. What is the answer? 8i. Yes. See, for n is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2, you got a complex number which was having a real part and an imaginary part. Yes children. But now, when we took n as 3, I got a number 8i. What is this number called? Imaginary number. Why is this called an imaginary number? Because it is having the unit I. Yes children. So let us write down the statement over here. So we have arrived at one part of the answer. I'll be just continuing over here. If n is equal to 3, z is equal to 8i. Therefore, if n is equal to 3, z is purely imaginary. So this is one answer. You have to highlight your answers, children. You know how to highlight your answers? Highlight your answers. Okay, so we have found the value for n for z to be purely imaginary. So when you say z is purely imaginary, when n is equal to 3. You can just underline this. This is the answer. If n is equal to 3, z is purely imaginary. So we have completed only the first part and we have one more part. Yes, we have to find out the value for n, which says that z should be real. Okay children. So now what are we going to do? So see here. I'll just continue here children. You can continue, no problem. If n is equal to 6, z is equal to, so how you are going to get 6? That is the main question. You would have seen that why ma'am is writing directly 6, why we are not going for 4, why we are not going to 5, why we are directly going to 6. I'll just tell you the hint, or I'll just tell you the idea why are we using there as 6. See children, so when you took n as 3, okay, when we took n as 3, we got the value for z as 8i. Yes. So if I square this, what I'll get? I'll rub this part. See. So if n is equal to 3, you got the value for z as 8i. Now I want a real number, that is I want the I to be removed. I don't want I. So what are you going to do here? You are going to square it. So if you square this, what you get? 64, 8 8s are 64, I square. What is the value for I square? Minus 1. Good. What is 64 into minus 1? Minus 64. Are you clear children? So see what happens here? You get a real number. Yes. That's what we need. Yes children. We need only a real number. So what are we going to do? We are going to square this. If we square, you get a real number. So let's see how to complete our answer. If n is equal to 6, z is equal to root 3 plus I, the whole cube, the whole square. See, I have presented this in a different manner. Instead of writing directly 6, I have written as 3, 2. That is, this is written in the form of a raised to m, the whole raised to n. What is the law children? A raised to m into n. So a raised to 3 into 2, a raised to 6. Are you clear? So how are we breaking 6 as? We are breaking 6 as 3 into 2. So write down z is equal to root 3 plus I, the whole cube, the whole square. Yes, I hope you are clear with the statement. We have found the value for root 3 plus I the whole cube. Yes, we have got the value. The value is 8I the whole square. 64I square, 64 into minus 1, which is equal to minus 64. So I got a real number without I. What is the meaning of real? The number which comes without I. Yes, I got a number without I. Let me continue, complete the answer. If n is equal to 6, z is equal to minus 64. Therefore, if n is equal to 6, z is real. So this is the second part. So we have completed our sum number 6. It was little lengthier, yes children? The sum would be lengthier, but the steps are easy if you just go on practicing the sums. I have already told you, the more you practice, the more you score. So just go on practicing your sums and you will be perfect in your maths. Okay. Take down the seventh question. Question number 7. Show that. Take down question number 7. Show that the first subpart. What is the first subpart given to you? 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 is purely imaginary. Let's take down the question. So for homework, I have given you only one sum, yes children. That is from 2.4, question number 5. The second half is your homework. And again, I'll just give you one more sum, children. From question number 7, you have to do the second part as homework. So you have 2 sums for your homework. The sums are lengthier, so you just do the steps carefully. Nobody is going to skip the steps, okay? You have to show the calculations, you have to show the working part, and you are going to complete your sums. So what is the homework, children? Yes, the homework is from question number 5, the second half, and from question number 7, the second subpart. I'll be doing the first subpart. Read on the first subpart. 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 minus is purely imaginary. This is what we have to show. Okay. To show. Okay, children. Just put your pens down, everyone, and listen to me carefully. You're going to put your pens down and you're going to listen to the steps. Now this is a very important question. This question may be asked for 2 marks or this question may be asked for 3 marks, children, okay? So be careful. Now the question is, you have been given with a complex number and they're asking you to check whether it is purely imaginary. And also the question may be, they would have given you a complex number and they may ask you check it is purely real. It can be a real number or it can be a imaginary number. So this can be the question. And they may change the question as here like they have given you imaginary. Instead of imaginary they may ask you real. So that comes under the application questions. So you may have a application question for 2 marks or 3 marks. So be careful with the statement, children. So understand the concept first. When you say the numbers are real, we say the numbers are real when z is equal to z bar. Be clear with the concept, children. When you say it is real, you have to say the numbers are real when z is equal to z bar. And when you call it as imaginary, when z is equal to minus z bar. I hope you are clear with the differences. For real, what is the condition for real? For the condition of real, the z should be equal to z bar. Clear? That means if you prove that z is equal to z bar, you can say that the numbers are real. And if you prove z is equal to minus z bar, you can say the numbers are imaginary. So this is the concept we are going to use for sum number 7. Clear, children? What is the condition for real? Z is equal to z bar. What is the condition for imaginary? Z is equal to minus z bar. Okay, I hope you are clear with the concept. Let's use the concept. So write down here, let z is equal to. I'm going to copy the same question. You are going to do the sums along with me. Let's start writing down the sums. Let z is equal to 2 plus I root 3 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 10. I have just taken down the question as it is. Okay, children, what is the complex number given? 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. So I have taken the question. Be careful, do not make mistake when you take down the question. Be careful with the question, children. You have to copy down the signs carefully. Now, see children, I have told you when we have to prove whether it is imaginary or it is real, we need a z bar, okay? So what are we going to do here is, we are going to put a bar. Let us put a bar. So z bar is equal to a bar 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 bar. Simple. I hope the first step is clear. Second step, what are we doing? We are just putting a bar. See here, z I am putting a bar over z. Again I am putting a bar. Clear, children? Okay. So I hope you are clear with the second step. Good. Now let us go for the next step. So this is equal to. Now we have a bar together. Yes, children? We are having a bar for both the numbers together. So now what are you going to do? You have to give the bar differently. So 2 plus I root 3 whole raised to 10 bar minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 bar. Clear? What was the first step? The first step was the question. We have directly taken on the question. Yes, we took the question. What is the second step? We have given a bar. Okay. What was the third step? We have given the bar separately. First the bar was given for the whole number. Now what I am going to do? I am giving the bar for each number. Let us go for the next step. So this is equal to, see here children, 2 plus, just be careful with this step, 2 plus I root 3 the bar raised to 10. I hope you are clear with this step. What I have done? I have just taken 10 out. Clear? See. 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. It was like this. 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. Now how are we changing this? We are changing this as 2 plus I root 3 bar and the 10 is coming out. Is the difference clear? First 10 is there and then bar is there. Now here bar is there and then 10 is there. I hope you are clear. Is it confusing, children? Okay, I'll just explain to you once again. See. How is the step given here? 2 plus I root 3 whole raised to 10 bar. Now how are we changing this as 2 plus I root 3 bar the whole raised to 10. Just we are interchanging them. The 10 is going up, the bar is coming down. Okay, let us continue the step. So this is equal to, So this is equal to 2 plus I root 3 bar the whole raised to 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 bar the whole raised to 10. I have just changing the position of 10 and bar. That's all. I hope you are clear with the next step, children. Okay, good. We know the meaning of conjugate. What is the meaning of bar, children? Bar means if you have z is equal to x plus iy, z bar will be x minus iy. You have to change the middle sign. You have to change the middle sign. Let us change the sign. So what you get here? See here. 2 plus will change to minus I root 3 whole raised to 10. The bar will go because we have changed the sign. The plus is changed to minus. Do not change anything over here. Write minus. I am going to remove the conjugate. So 2 minus will change to plus I root 3 whole raised to 10. Clear, children? So what I am going to do, see here, in the question I am having 2 plus I root 3 first. Here I am having 2 plus I root 3 in the second term. I am going to write, I am just going to exchange them. So this is minus. What are we going to do? We are going to take the minus sign common. Be careful with this step, children. This step will give us the answer. So what are we going to do? We are going to take the minus sign common. So what you get here? 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. The plus will change to minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. See here now, so this is the question. 2 plus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10. So this is equal to minus z. Clear? So that's what we have proved, yes children. We started with z bar and we have showed that it is equal to minus z. So let's complete the answer over here. I hope you are clear with this step. This is very easy step. Yes children. So this step is just interchanging, children. What we have done is, I have just taken the minus sign common and I have written the term first. So 2 plus I root 3. The plus will turn to be minus 2 minus I root 3. So I get the answer as minus z. You say z bar is equal to minus z. Or you can say z is equal to minus z bar. I can just interchange the sign. Therefore, you can say that you have to write the question. Therefore, 2 plus I root 3 10 minus 2 minus I root 3 the whole raised to 10 is purely imaginary. Hence proved. I hope you are clear with the sum, children. So we have proved, yes. So this step is a step where we arrive at the conclusion. So this step gives you the answer. This is the same question that we have taken. So you write down there minus z. So z bar is equal to minus z. So z, just I am interchanging the signs. So I get z is equal to minus z bar. So you can say the given complex number is purely imaginary. Hence proved. Okay children. So we have completed our exercise 2.4. Yes. I hope you are clear with the sums that we have solved in the class. Just practice it. If you just go on practicing, you will be getting a clear idea of the sums. And you have to complete your homework. I have just given you 2 sums. Complete your homeworks. And we will be continuing with exercise 2.5 in the next class.